Hello, everybody. This is Bugbear's Basement, and I am Bugbear. And today I'm with the Nerd Crew, and we're going to be talking about cartoons, which is great memories from our youth. And there's even some good cartoons and animation and anime and things like that that are going on that are in our adult life, which are a lot of fun. But before we get into that, and I introduce the crew we have with us today, I want to talk about a couple of things we have going on in FanSpeak first. We had mentioned on the last week's FanSpeak that we are doing wanting everyone to put in art and stuff for FanSpeak and your own art, but also specifically FanSpeak. And the reason we're doing that, we're going to announce that a little bit more details on that this week's FanSpeak. But the main purpose of that is we are doing something very interesting and very cool, and we have a contest, and we want everyone to submit ideas for this FanSpeak's official logo, and the prize is very cool. And we're going to talk about that more later, but just to kind of tease you and get you anticipating. So if you're an artist, go ahead and submit that stuff, and we're going to run a contest coming up here soon. Other than that, also please remember that on the FanSpeak page, but the link is down below, to go in there and give us some reviews on comics or your opinion on news of the day or what have you. We want your input, and we will take your input and we will use it on air. Also, if you want to be a guest on the show, please get in contact with us. You can go to FanSpeak and drop a link, but you can go to my Facebook personally, which is Chester C. Busby III. Easy to find. I'm the one with the Black Adam icon. Of course, there's only one of me in the world, but hey, should be easy to find. And tell me, put me on the show, because we want new fan guests every week. So don't be shy. Come on out and join us. So thank you very much. A little bit of updates. And March Hare, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Yes, all of that. And of course, we'll be talking about Batman the Animated Series. That would be sacrilege not to. So let's see who the crew is we got with us today. First of all, we have William the Willy Mammoth. How you doing today, sir?
Good, sir.
Yeah. And we got DeWolf. And how are you doing there, sir?
I'm doing well, and I don't care if you just come home after school or it's Saturday morning, pull up a nice cold glass of Kool-Aid and join us for cartoons.
Absolutely. Well, I hated Kool-Aid, but I got coffee, so we're good to go. You know what I mean? But yeah, we got a great one today, guys. We're going to be talking about cartoons, animation, anime, all those kind of things. And boy, is that a fun conversation. And everybody is down in the chat. Don't be shy. Send us questions, send us comments, and we'll talk about it, because this is going to be a fun conversation. Now, one of the things I want to mention before we even get into talking about the various stuff, so let's talk a little bit before we even get into that. Is I remember when I was a kid, I would get off the school bus, but the school bus dropped me a little bit away from my home. It wasn't right in front of my house. And I remember running home as fast as I could, because I could just make to get on UHF. And for all of those of you who don't know what that is, well, that's just me showing my age. But on UHF, coming out of Boston, there was a TV show that came on every day, and it was called Force 5. And Force 5 was Japanese animation that was brought over for the American consumer. And I loved that. It was the pinnacle of my day to get home from school, which was boring as hell, and sit down and watch that. And then, of course, after that, they had Star Blazers and stuff. But this is a great memory from my youth. Do you guys have any kind of memories like that that's not specific cartoon, but just cartoons in general related?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got tons. Star Wars alone.
Well, tell us one, man. Give us a story.
Oh, man, I can remember the first time I'd seen Star Wars. I was born in 79, so I missed the original A New Hope by like 2 years. And even then, I would have been too young to remember it. Right? So I remember we had this old VHS player. And it was one of the ones that when you hit eject, it would actually pop up off the top and it would come up and out. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
It's an old silver machine. The thing weighed like 50 pounds, right? And I remember I was sitting on the living room floor of my parents' first house, and they had this great big shag carpet, right? We're talking probably, I don't know, 1986-ish. I would have been 5, 6, old enough to remember. And I was sitting on the floor, and Dad had popped this VHS tape into the VCR. And the music come on. Yeah, it was kind of cool. The intro was a little long. And then the ship appeared, and it was getting blown to pieces. And then I realized like how large this movie is when the other ship appeared, and it took forever to go across the screen.
Yeah, it did.
And
cool.
then when it goes to the interior of the ship and the stormtroopers are cutting open that door and they all started pouring in, I knew right then and there that this was probably the most amazing movie I will ever see in my entire life.
Yeah, yeah.
Right from the opening scene. You know, you can't say that about very many other movies. The only other movie that compares to it's Indiana Jones, where he's running from that big boulder.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
It's iconic.
It is iconic, and those are cool memories. So what about you, DeWolf? You got a good cartoon-related life story?
Zing, boing, Force 5, yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Hey, you know what? You pretty much hit it right on the head there. The fact that I would get off the school bus too, and I would go in, and I would have to go clunk, 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 clunk over to the the right channel. I think that particular TV was about 8 inches across, and it was black and white for a while. And I would watch exactly what you're saying. You know, there was Transformers would come on after school, and I think Star Blazers and Robotech. So, you know, I got my daily dose of what the next episode was, and that was so cool because you actually had episodic television being created for, you know, teen, preteen, young kids, and there was some pretty intense storylines that went along with some of those cartoons.
Absolutely. And actually, probably one of the best theme songs ever created. Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I mean, my goodness, what a great show. Well, look what we have here, Mr. Winter. How are you doing, sir?
Pretty good, man. I think I'm coming down with a cold or something, or just a sore throat, but otherwise doing great.
Yeah, nice to see you. And that is a lovely, fabulous mustache, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, I just for that I must I should show my beard, but my camera and internet are too horrible to do so. But yeah, welcome everyone. This is I'm assuming you pronounce it John Winter, and John here is a guy who works with Mike S. Miller, and he takes care of Mike's con booths at the various Comic Cons around the country and such. Yeah, welcome to Bugbear's Basement, man. We're talking about cartoons today, but before we continue that conversation, why don't you tell us a little bit about, you know, how'd you meet Mike, and how is it working those cons, man?
Sure. Well, let's see. I've known Mike for quite a while, actually. Let's see, how long ago was it? Must have been, gosh, over 10 years, probably 15 or more years ago now. I started actually working at a car audio shop with his brother. I've known him and that whole family for quite some time. And I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, I got into a gig selling some random flasks at conventions with another buddy of mine locally here. And I kept running around the conventions, and I'd see Mike, and I totally forgot that that's what he does for a living. So I'd see him at shows, and I'd be like, whoa, no way. So, and he was like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, what are you doing here? It was just kind of a great little thing. So after about a year or so of doing the conventions with my buddy, he went to go sell his company, and Mike asked if I wanted to take some strain off and let him stay at home more and do some shows for him to kind of help him out. And I was like, absolutely. So from there, I just started doing shows. I think this is the end of year 2 for me, doing shows for him. Gives him some time to stay at home more with his family and work on projects and things. And, you know, he can pick and choose less shows to do that he really wants to do, as
Right.
opposed to, you know, doing a full circuit or whatever. My life's pretty flexible, so I can go and do a full circuit and, you know, not be too big of a deal. So it's
Well,
been fun.
that's super helpful, man. That certainly helps Mike out. Hot me up, but the real question is, man, how is it to run a booth at a convention? Is it crazy? Is it cool? I mean, I'm really curious what it feels like to be at a convention as a salesperson.
Sure, it's a whole different type of skill set. I've never actually been to I've never actually attended a convention, so I don't know what that side of the the world is like. I've only worked. I don't know. I'm pretty. I consider myself pretty decent at logistics, like setting stuff up,
Yeah,
and I just have a general good attitude, and I don't know, it's fun. I just love seeing people like be in their happy place and just have a good time and get to dress up, do, you know, have a good time at the shows. And so most of it is just like saying hi to people and, you know, being their friends, being excited about the same stuff they are. And pretty much if you have something compelling, you know, it sells itself. Like, sure, there's sometimes you want to like put some effort into it and, you know, but for the most part, you have a compelling product, it sells itself. You don't, it's not like the 1970s or 80s where you had to like hard sell somebody on something anymore. It's a different atmosphere. You know, a lot of people are introverted and they would, you
oh
know,
yeah,
they would rather be, you know, just there and have a good time, and you know, they're not looking for somebody to shove something down their throat. um and so
sure,
you know, I just have a great time because I can smile and be excited about people's cosplay, say hi to people, make sure they're doing all right, see if there's anything, you know, anything I could do to make their day better. And, you know, people just gravitate towards good, positive energy, a warm smile, and
sure.
a fancy mustache sometimes. Who knows?
Yeah, well, I'm sure it helps, man. What's the wildest cosplay you've ever seen?
Oh, man. Some of the really big, epic cosplays are really great. One of my favorites was Chicago. I think this year there was a Reinhardt that was probably about 9 feet tall or so.
Oh well.
It was amazing. There's so they're really, I mean, I really like a lot of like the hand built stuff that people like spent a lot of time and effort in. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's just really, really goofy stuff. Sometimes it's like, you know, sometimes like I did a couple shows where Skeletor was really big, so I kept seeing Skeletor everywhere, and I love Skeletor. He's just, I don't know, it's such a good comic relief. So seeing him, I mean, people walk around in character, having a good time. It's just, I don't know, it's just the best.
Well, we have someone in our community called Pixel Trader, and sorry
Mm-hmm.
about that. I had a cough. Um, Pixel Trader doesn't make cosplay costumes, but he makes props. So
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of cool. Um,
Yeah,
so tell me, what is Mike's bestseller? What's his best-selling pick?
I guess it kind of varies from show to show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it does. It's pretty interesting. There's a couple like common themes, a couple common categories that do really well. Over time, it's kind of changed and kind of molded. And you know what I do well with is sometimes different than what Mike does well with. It's that part's the part that's interesting at selling his villains than he does. I don't know if it's a mustache. I don't know what it is. It's
It's the
kind of a,
mustache.
It is the
yeah,
mustache. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, yeah. But I actually like I like Mike's Wonder Woman. He does pretty good Wonder Woman.
yeah. I love it. So it's
Yeah.
like Calvin and Hobbes parody stuff does really, really well. That's probably, you know, that's probably one of his hottest things that I do a lot of. I do a lot of Overwatch because that's, I don't know, that's kind of my jam. I'm a
His
real
Overwatch
big,
line's good looking.
Oh yeah, it
yeah.
is. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm going to meet Mike in person for the first time coming up here in December. I'm going to Tokyo Comic Con, and Mike's going to be there.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, it's going to be cool, man.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to my first convention, first comic book convention. So, any pointers on how to approach Mike in the right way that he won't hit me with a shoe?
Sure, sure. Give me just a second, real quick here.
Yeah.
Well, let's not forget
You want it?
that
I love
that
it.
little
Look at that.
boy Ms. Boyette roasted Mike's Wonder Woman on
I
one of
like
those
his Wonder
streams.
Woman though, and that Overwatch series is great actually.
No, do you remember? I don't know if you were on that stream, Chester, but Ms. Boyette said that Mike's Wonder Woman looked like a man because of the jawline.
Yeah, no, I was on that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was.
Oh, and that one ticket.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Mike
No,
told
no
me to,
problem.
Mike asked me to shoot him an invite to this one too. Said he wanted to watch it. So
Oh, cool.
I was like, might as well throw that in there. Mike's super cool, man. I don't know. I've known him for a while. I had a totally different regular day job visit down to San Diego for recently to go deliver a van and drop it off. And where I delivered the van was like a 5-minute drive from his place. So I ended up crashing at his house. And turns out that night it was like at midnight. It was his birthday, and I jumped on his little live stream that night. It was kind of fun. But
Oh,
Mike's
that's
super
cool.
cool. He's super chill. I don't know. He's got a really good demeanor.
He seems to.
It's hard for me to describe like people, like what the best way to interact with people is, I guess.
I was just playing anyway, man. We've all talked to Mike and seen Mike, and he's very personable, very friendly guy. He's certainly well loved in this community, man. But yeah, it's cool having you on. And here comes Mr. Miller as we speak. How you doing,
Hello.
sir?
How are you?
I am good.
Nice.
Nice
What?
to have you on. We are talking about you. Your ears burning?
Why are you talking about me, man? Don't be talking about me.
Or talk about Tokyo Comic Con, man.
We only talk about the biggest.
Yeah.
The biggest and the best.
Yeah. We're just
And then
talking
you showed
about-
up.
Yeah.
So,
John.
Hey, what up, Mike?
Not much.
Yeah,
New tape on this.
they were asking
so
how I
yeah,
knew
go
John,
ahead.
I can barely hear you, kid.
Go ahead, John.
Oh yeah. We were just talking about how I met you, how I know you, what it's like to do some shows and help you out and stuff. And I don't know what I think about you. I was like, Mike's pretty cool. You know.
I'm pretty cool. Haven't you heard?
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, John. That's cool. And of course, now we have Mr. Miller in person. Yeah, we just talked about Tokyo Comic Con, Mike, and it's going to be my very first convention. I'm bringing my whole family, and we're looking forward to meeting you over there.
Well, I certainly hope that's the case. I'm still waiting to hear absolute confirmation. I did get an email back yesterday, so I will advise as we go. So.
Oh, cool. And I'm actually looking at. I'm dealing with the Japanese side of it, and I'm working on getting a press pass so that I can go over there and live stream it for the channel here.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun.
Yeah.
So I'll probably walk up to you at some time and do an instant interview on you. So be ready.
I'm always ready. Man.
Anyway, all right. Well, we got a big group in here today, so let's go on with our topic. Now, what we're talking about today is cartoons. Everyone, we're talking about cartoons, animation, and anime. And DeWolf, you were telling us about some of your memories in childhood and running home for those cartoons. Did you have anything else to add, or are we done with that comment?
Yeah, I think I wrapped that up. As a matter of fact, now that Mike's here, we can get right from Mike some of his ideas on the great memories that he had on cartoons that were growing up, but we don't get to hear on his other streams.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit older than you are, Mike, but I'm thinking we kind of grew up with the same cartoons. What is your great childhood cartoon memory, man?
Gosh. When I was a wee little lad in Hawaii, not cartoons, but I used to watch all that live action stuff like Go Ranger and Kamen Rider, Rainbow Man.
Oh yeah. In Hawaii, you probably got a hold of some of that Japanese stuff we didn't get on the East Coast, huh?
That's right. Yeah. No, we had a lot of Japanese TV there, and it was in Japanese. So.
How did you do with that?
Well, when I was little, we were starting to speak Japanese, but then my dad
kind of put the kibosh on that.
Was
Oh,
there
really?
any Hawaiian cartoons?
There was Hawaiian like live, not cartoons that I can think of. But, I mean, I was just a little kid, so my memory is going to be kind of meh. But there was I remember like a sort of not the Osmonds, but it was like a sort of Hawaiian group. I'm trying to remember what the heck their name was. I had a T-shirt of them.
The monkeys.
No.
The monkeys, yeah, that's super Hawaiian, man. That's
Yeah.
a very Hawaiian thing.
I saw the monkeys at a concert when I was in like 5th grade, I think.
Oh, really?
5th or 6th. Yeah.
When you were talking about Hawaiian TV show, the only one that came up to me was Hawaiian 5-0. With
Oh.
the theme song. But they're not cartoons.
Yeah, no, it was like it was some musical family act. So, but then I moved this to the mainland. First cartoon I remember watching then was Speed Racer.
Oh, yeah, Speed Racer.
And then when I moved up shortly to San Jose, and the anime that got me was G-Force and Battle of the Planets.
We were just talking about that.
No, wait, G-Force is Battle of the Planets. G-Force and Star Blazers.
Oh, awesome.
And then ultimately Robotech.
Well, since we're talking about that, we might as well put them up on the screen here.
I got one quick tangential question. Mike, why were you wrapping your pen up? What was that about?
Oh, I thicken it up so it doesn't cramp my fingers up as much.
Rightio, there you go, Bethany.
There you go.
Art question. Well, as you guys see up here on the screen, I have some of those things we were talking about. And we have, of course, yeah, hey, you got Star Blazers, or better known here in Japan as Yamato.
Oh, yeah, dude, I have a die-cast Raideen.
Oh, do you? I had one of those.
Probably destroyed it by now.
Oh, Raideen was very cool. I had like, I don't know, 2, 3, I guess it was 2 feet tall one when I was a kid. It used to shoot out missiles and stuff. It was really cool.
I had that too.
Yeah.
I also have, I had the other one, not the Mazinga. And then I also had the freaking, you just had it on the screen, the God Phoenix. But I had a white version of the God Phoenix from G-Force.
Oh, you did? Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Guy the Space Dragon.
It actually had like a phoenix head on the front.
Oh, right. You're talking about Battle of the Planet stuff, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Gotcha,
got
man.
those when I was in when I visited Japan in 3rd grade.
Oh, so you did go to Japan when you were younger. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I just live here now. I didn't know anything about Japan until I ended up marrying a Japanese. So, yes. But I was raised on Japanese stuff. As we're looking here in front of you on the screen, we have Battle of the Planets, or a great show. Star Blazers, Brave Raideen was awesome, and of course Force 5 was a big deal. You had Grandizer, you had Space Gateers, you had Guy King, as DeWolf had just mentioned. Those are great cartoons when we were kids. So any of you guys watch these other than Todd, Mike, and I?
I watched them on the Sci-Fi channel when it was actually spelled out sci-fi, not sci-fi. How they are. And I watched Galaxy Express 999.
Oh yeah, my wife loves that one. Yeah.
And I also grew up on Cyborg 009.
Oh yeah.
And then let me see. Mike said the Speed Racer. The other one was Devil Cry Man. The
Devil May Cry. Devil May Cry.
Yeah, Devil May Cry.
That's interesting. Yeah, you're a bit younger though, but Devil May Cry was good. I saw that much later. I guess I saw reruns of it or something. But that's really cool. How about you, John? You watch any of this stuff?
Oh man, that's before my time. I played the game Devil May Cry.
Yeah, that was a great game.
And let's see, the cartoons I grew up on. I remember watching like Transformers and Mask and Ninja Turtles and I don't know.
Oh,
X-Men.
well, I got all those things on screens coming up too, man. Those are cool.
Yeah, I mean, all that stuff looks really cool. I wish I had watched all that stuff. It looks awesome.
Got some turtles in here. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Never liked the turtles.
Yeah.
No,
No,
you know that
Thundercats, of course.
to some people that is sacrilege. You do know that, right?
That's all right.
Thundercats.
Yeah, no,
You guys heard of Kikaida?
no. What's that?
Oh man, it was another one of those live action shows around the same time as like all those other ones I mentioned.
Okay.
No, so it's like Kamen Rider type.
Yeah, it's but then they also did a Kikaida anime.
Is
it was on
that the
Adult Swim.
is that the one where he's half red and half blue? Cyborg?
Yeah,
Kick Hider. Yeah. So yeah, I saw that one.
so rad.
Cool.
Kikaida!
My kids grew up watching all that. Of course, the modern version, but they love the Kamen Rider type stuff. Bethany says that her husband has the Japanese versions of Star Blazers and Gatchaman. Yeah, I've seen them, and actually with Star Blazers, or they call it Yamato here, or Space Battleship Yamato, and it's probably the most iconic anime has ever been made from a Japanese point of view, and the Yamato, they just had a remake of it about sometime in the past 10 years, and it's an animated remake, and absolutely wonderful. If you guys haven't seen it. Yeah, it is really, really good. Here, go ahead, Danelle.
Yeah, and I said like about 5 years ago they made a remake of the live action of that show as well, movie. I don't think.
Yeah, well, we're not going to talk about that here because that was absolute crap.
Yeah, but just to illustrate, it's very popular that they remake it every decade or so. For the new generation, that's how popular it is.
Getting the rights to do Yamato is really difficult. I really wish they'd release it and let Hollywood make a really good version of it, because Yamato, man, or Star Blazers. No. Am I getting dissent in the chat? What's going on?
They would screw it up.
Yeah.
No faith.
Can I point?
Dude, I don't even like freaking Power Rangers. I want my Go Ranger to be a bunch of little Japanese dudes jumping around in pajamas. I don't want no friggin'
Sentai. We want Super Sentai.
Crazy.
When it was Americanized, it just lost so much, like 10 levels of cool.
It can. I suppose that's true. I really want more Star Blazers, I guess, is the kind of the point. What is that one that? Who is it? Is it Spielberg or someone just remade and has this live action version mixed with CG of a Japanese anime? What is that one that's coming out?
Battle Angel Alita.
Yeah, Battle
Angel. And that's James Cameron.
I love that manga, and I know it looks a little weird, but I'm still looking forward to it.
It looks a lot weird, Mike. Not a little, a lot.
I'm okay with that. As long as it's good. And dude, it's James Cameron. He can't screw the pooch that much.
No, that's true. He is good at what he does. Yeah. Well, but I'm definitely going to check it out. So let's see. Let's get a couple other people here. William, why don't you talk a little bit about some of the cartoons you like, man? Some of your memories.
I think the first memory I have with, say, an anime would have to be Astro Boy.
Ah, yeah.
You guys remember Astro Boy?
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I was just discussing this with a buddy of mine. Anime was a lot darker than the American cartoons that we grew up with. If you remember, I'm not sure if you guys know the story of Astro Boy or not, but it was a scientist's son who ended up dying, and he built the robot in the boy's likeness.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't, even back then, I'm not sure when it was, 80s for sure. I know that's when I seen it. You wouldn't have cartoons dying.
Yeah, and that was in the 60s. because that was one of the first Astro Boy.
It was, yeah. It was kind of like I can compare it to Walt Disney's Mickey Mouse, actually. It was kind of like Japan's Mickey Mouse. Even if you look at the even if you look at the
he kind of hit the nail on the head.
Character design,
that's what he wanted.
Yeah, well, if you look at the character design, Mickey Mouse wears shorts and boots and gloves, and Astro Boy wore shorts and boots and gloves. And Mickey Mouse had 2 big round ears, and Astro Boy had 2 triangles sticking out the top of his head. They're very similar if you were to compare the 2 of them.
Well, everything informs everything else, right?
That's right.
I mean, Mike was just talking about Alita, Battle Angel Alita, and I think that certainly has influence from Astro Boy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I can see that, yeah.
We got a couple of comments over here in the chat. Let me just pick these up real quick. People are talking about the Star Blazers and Battle Angel and stuff like that. The Astro Boy movie creeped out the homeless liberal. Well, I'm sorry. A lot of people didn't like it. I actually liked it.
I liked it too. I liked it too. It's not far from a perfect film, but I still liked it. I actually grew up with, like, on the little desk next to the phone, a little Astro Boy pencil sharpener. Like,
oh, really?
It was like this huge hulking 1960s, horrific orange pencil sharpener, and the little light on the back had a little Astro Boy sticker on it. I was like, I don't know when my mom got it, but she probably got it in Japan and brought it over, and it's just always been part of my life.
Those little things are cool, though, man. Those are good memories. How about you, John? What's a good cartoon you would like us to see? Maybe I have a screen I could show of it.
Oh man, anime for me, anime specifically, I never really, I don't know, I guess I wasn't really around that a whole lot. I did a little bit of Akira and like a little bit of like Ghost in the Shell and stuff like that, but those are more movies, not like series or cartoons. I guess the cartoons that I just watched Saturday morning cartoons growing up. So like He-Man and stuff. He-Man was great. There was, gosh, I'm trying to remember.
Voltron.
Voltron.
That was classic.
Oh, those definitely. Well, seeing as you've mentioned Voltron, I do believe we have a Voltron pick around here. Someone throw that up in your screen share, and we'll talk about that for sure.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, Voltron. Well, let's get into some of that. Everybody here seen Voltron?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, John. Have you seen the new stuff?
No, there's new stuff.
There is, and it's controversial, I think.
Oh,
it is a little bit, yeah.
So, William, tell us why it's controversial.
Well, everybody claims it to be the SJW version. It's kind of evolved into it a little bit. They started off gentle, making small little changes to the original.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but in 2015, Netflix announced that they were going to revamp the original version, and they made some subtle little changes. The first being, we have a character named Shiro.
Yep.
And in the original version was released in '84, and it was actually based off of a few Japanese cartoons back in the day. I think Beast King Go Lion was one of them.
Oh yeah.
Armored Fleet Dairuger, I think, was another one. Voltron's based around a team of
the Go Lion version.
Yeah, space explorers who kind of control giant robot lions, and they kind of form to create one giant robot.
Yes.
Right? So each character runs a different color lion. So there's blue, green, yellow, red, and black.
Paul says that Shiro has just been established as gay on the show. Wonderful.
He has, yeah.
That's just what we need. Thank you.
So in the original, Shiro never existed. It was Lance that existed.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that's the first change that they did.
Well, no, Shiro did exist, but in the American version, he was called Civ, and Civ passed away, and to go around it by Americans' edits, they had him faint and get hurt and go to medical things, causing the red pilot to take leadership.
Yeah, in the American version, he was injured, and in the Japanese version, he was actually killed off. I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where I was saying, like, it's Japanese stuff is a lot darker. Right?
It is darker. The Japanese aren't afraid of it. Yeah. Just
No,
to let
they're
you
not.
know, just to let you guys know, John, Mike, that Denali is our local computer. The knowledge this guy has is ridiculous. So if you ever have any questions about anything, ask Denali. Because he's got the details, I guarantee you.
And
very cool.
I'm restraining myself really hard not to say anything.
No, dude, you're doing great.
Jump in anytime for sure.
Here's the thing that I catch from it, because we know that Pidge got changed in genders, which is perfectly fine. He's always a young little guy, and so that wasn't that big of a shock for me. And of course, now Shiro thing is a little bit different, and like you say, he was a character that wasn't around before. But for me, as I watched it continuing on, there's something that was much bigger, and that was, for them, it was a universe. For us, we'd call it globalism. And globalism is part of that greater progressive movement. Here you've got the Voltron characters. They're no longer focused on one planet and helping out these people. And they're involved in more like a war in the original version. Yeah. Now they're involved in something that is trying to promote this global agenda. They help out various cultures with different identities, and they try to help people out in different people groups. And that's kind of a little subtle change, I think, that most people wouldn't notice.
No, yeah, I saw that as well. We are getting some requests on the chat to talk about some American cartoons, and we're going to get right to that in 1 second. But what we're going to do first to end this Voltron conversation is ask the very, very important question. That is, lions or cars?
Oh, yes.
Cars.
Oh, you are out. Get out of this stream.
Wait,
How
no, not
dare you,
cars.
sir.
Three robots.
Right.
Does
Do you mind
anyone
if I share a picture?
I used to have the red and the blue one in die-cast metal that I brought back from Japan too.
The lions, right? Not those horrible cars, right?
No,
Hang on, I got a great image of the cars.
Yeah.
And they made a Lego version of Voltron that you can buy, with each individual lion set can transform now.
No one loves the cars, Mr. DeWolf. No one.
Yeah.
Just
do you have me white boxed? White box me. I've got.
Yes, I do. I have you white boxed.
Okay. All right.
Ooh,
So
oh,
yeah,
God,
I know, right?
That is awful. Oh my God.
But you know what? They had a series of actual action figures of this stuff too, eh?
They did, and boy, I remember when they changed that over when I was a kid. That was traumatizing, man.
Put that back on the screen.
Put it back up, William.
Yeah, the vehicles.
Okay, I had one sort of like that. It was made out of like, I don't know, 30 cars.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one you're seeing right there, Mike.
Is it? No, I don't remember any helicopters or anything.
There was helicopters as well. If you break it apart, each unit was about 5 units to make each parts. That's why it was so ridiculous.
I believe this was the one that was called Armored Fleet Die Ruger 7.
Yeah, exactly. So you had one. So you had, for the leg alone, you had 5 vehicles right there. For the chest alone, you had the helicopters. For the arms, and another 2 ambulance. For the chest, it's the helicopter major and part of the rocket ship, and I can't remember what the torso was, but it was ridiculous. Yeah.
Now let's not forget that each 5 vehicles of different types, like air, land, and sea, could combine together to create a little up-armored, powerful version of air, land, and sea, and then they could break apart and make the whole large robot.
DeWolf. I don't care.
Yeah.
I hate the cars, man.
You're the reason why we can't have anything nice.
I know. It's my fault. It's absolutely my fault.
We might not have SJW cars though.
Oh, okay.
They're all
Just make them
electric.
pink with rainbows. All right. Let's show some American stuff though, since we're getting that request. So here, let's discuss how American these things are actually. Here we have things that are still from the 80s, and if anybody's got some more modern stuff, we'll talk about that. But honestly, the 70s, 80s are the best time in cartoons. But look what we got up here. We have Silverhawks. We have the
Yep.
Galaxy Rangers. We have G.I.
Never watched
Joe. You never watched it. And we have, of
I
course,
hated Galaxy
Transformers.
Rangers.
Really?
Yeah,
No.
Joe and Transformers,
Silverhawks.
Silverhawks, that's my jam.
Yeah, Silverhawks
those are
had
great.
great animation.
Yeah, they did. Now, are these things are these American? Do you think, or are they? Or GI Joe is, but are they American, or is this another type of adaptation that, like the ones we were talking about before?
Thundercats and Silverhawks were outsourced to Japanese company at that time. That's why their influence is very heavy on it. But
That's
it was
why
an
they're so
American company.
awesome.
That's why they're so awesome. Yeah.
Now, I gotta say that Transformers probably was an American storyline, even though we all realize that they came from Japanese products and Japanese toy lines. But when you start getting into the actual trademark and what they were and what they represented, Transformers really was more of an American creation.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it definitely. Well, that's what I think. These are very American, no matter who put them together. And thank you very much, Denelli, for the information. But and just to let you know, Mike, that people in chat are fine with you never drawing Transformers again, seeing as you've never voted against it.
Good. Not sure if I should take that as an insult, but fine.
Well, hey, take what you can get, right? But I actually, G.I. Joe is kind of interesting. When I was a little kid, I actually had a G.I. Joe figure, but this was back before those little Star Wars started influencing stuff. And this figure was, I don't know, a foot tall, like 12, 14 inches tall.
How are you still alive?
Yeah.
How am I still alive? I eat healthy. I live in Japan. I get an extra 20 years of life. But
my
no,
Transformers toys were all metal. They were all die cast.
Yeah,
Oh,
they were.
yeah, yep.
They were. Yeah.
I had the metal side swipe that I got it at a garage sale, like in around 2000.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
$5, man. Freaking black metal side swipe.
That's a steal.
wow.
Right?
I had what was the one? It was a cassette player.
Shockwave.
Oh, Soundwave.
Shockwave. Yeah, Shockwave. I had that
Soundwave.
one.
That
That was
sounds
cool.
Soundwave. Great.
Shockwave was the other one with the laser thing on his hand.
Yeah.
Yep,
you
yep.
think Soundwave is the cassette player.
Soundwave. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I had that one, and I had the Optimus Prime. Those diecasts were cool, man, for sure. I was kind of curious though.
I hate that they started making them out of plastic, man.
Yeah, no, they're not as cool. Now, one of the ones I don't have here on the screen that I should have put up that just came to my brain was the Bionic Six. That was another one that I should have put up here. But between Silverhawks, Galaxy Rangers, G.I. Joe, and Transformers, and Bionic Six, because they're all about the same time, which one of those is your guys' favorite?
John?
Transformers, because I haven't seen a lot of. I think Transformers, because I haven't seen some of the other ones. G.I. Joe's I watched a little bit of.
Is that my brother's truck?
It sure is. He's nice enough to let me drive it for a little while.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, G.I. Joe's is cool. Silverhawks, I don't remember that well, but I mean it's kind of vague.
Cool. That Silverhawks was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Monstar, right? Really
How
cool.
old are you, Pastor?
Me, I'm 48 years old.
48?
Yep.
And you're only a year older than me.
Oh, really? So yeah, you and I are the older guys. The rest of them are either a little younger or considerably so, I think. But yeah, no, it was a great time growing up in the 70s and 80s, man. I feel bad for the kids today, to be honest with you.
Kids these days will never understand 28 episodes per season.
Right?
No.
Oh my gosh.
And
Yeah,
we
that's true.
were in a sweet time too, because it was between let's see, between the 50s and the 60s, American animation went to crap. You started having things like the Super Friends and all this like 8 frame per second stuff. And then with the revival and outsourcing stuff to Japan and whatnot, we got this new stream. I mean, granted, it wasn't 24 frames per second or anything, but it was good. Way better stuff, especially when they started importing like Robotech and whatnot. Actually, Carl Potts, right? He's the one that created Robotech or recreated. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
the animation on those was so bad.
they were, but boy, did I love them, man! I love them.
Yeah. But when we came into the 80s, man, it was like, wow, this stuff's so awesome. Yeah, and then you come into the 90s and 80s.
Yeah, these right here are my kids' generation ones, and these were wonderful. These were really great shows that they had up. I don't know why they stopped doing them, but and we ended up getting this nonsense. And everything has been copying ever since. And I don't know if you guys ever stomach to watch it, but my goodness, this is horrible. And this
That's
is what the
they're
kids
basing
are.
the new Thundercats on.
Everything.
This animation.
Teen Titans Go.
They're just releasing Thundercats Roar, and it's done in this style.
No.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah, I really loved watching Batman the Animated Series. That was done really well. X-Men was done really well. I haven't seen Steven Universe, but I've seen like some Adventure Time, and that's all right. But it's a different type of, completely different. It's not, I don't know.
It's offensive.
Yes, it is offensive. That's the right word.
It's offensive to me as an artist.
I think the most offensive part is not just the art, but they don't finish it in time. Like Steven Universe, they do Steven bombs, and they do like full episode for a full week, and then you wait like several months to and they do it. And I'm like saying, you can't even finish the story for it, on time. There used to be deadlines behind, and people would raise the roof about, saying if you miss a deadline or something like that. So it's kind of crazy how.
Yeah, but I think Mike hit it on the head. The animation is horrible. It doesn't look good. 2, the stories are weird and boring, which I don't mind weird, but boring is a problem. And 3, they're basically trying to indoctrinate kids into all kind of weird lefty concepts. I mean, if you watch the show, they're pushing all kinds of weird stuff and trying to, in essence, I think brainwash the kids.
Yeah, the crystals are all lesbians.
Yes, they are. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's interesting is you could very much make the argument, or I do anyways, that it is cultural Marxism in the sort of the way that Jordan Peterson describes it, because it's the dumbing down of the arts, right? What's his name? Paul Joseph. What's his
Watson.
Face?
Paul Joseph Watson. Yeah.
He makes this argument about fine arts versus modern art, and how it's the dumbing down of art. And then the way I put his concept and Jordan Peterson's concepts together, and Peterson says that it is because the left and the cultural Marxists hate what they consider the tyranny of competence, or the tyranny of
all right.
Yeah, I guess competence is the best word for it.
Yeah.
Right. So if you dumb down the arts to the point that anybody can do it, then nobody's any better than anybody else. And it's just one more way to tear down people who are being praised for merit and achievement and skill.
Yeah.
And anybody, my freaking 10-year-old can draw this crap.
Yeah, no.
But this is what they're teaching in art schools.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's a.
It seems to be one particular art school in.
Yeah, it's Cal Arts.
General. Cal Arts. Okay.
That's terrible.
It is, and it's.
I just summed it up.
Thank you. That was very helpful, DeWolf.
They were Jesse, they were expecting good American cartoon, not this crap you're showing.
Well, hey, we got to talk about the good and the bad, right? And we're
Yeah,
going to get back to the good here in a second. Let me just jump over here to the comments and grab some things people here are talking about.
SpongeBob is high art.
SpongeBob. Hey, but the early SpongeBobs were great, though.
No, yeah, I agree.
March Hare says that he's talking about Tiger Sharks. Yeah, I remember that show. Did you guys watch that?
Tiger Sharks? I never heard of it.
That's like 70s, I think. Tiger Sharks.
No, it's 80s. I think it's late 80s, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was that, Fighter Squadron?
It was a Silverhawks ripoff, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was exactly a Silverhawks ripoff. James is giving us his age. He says that he's 86. Okay, Doom. Yeah, we know.
Johnny Quest.
Well, now Paul has an interesting comment here. Johnny Quest was good too. Paul has an interesting comment here. He says that Pokemon ushered the end of quality cartoons. Now, you guys have any opinion on Pokemon?
No comment.
Anime that was imported from Japan. That was just
My only opinion was that I like Digimon better.
Oh, really? My kid said the same thing, actually.
Yeah, because you had to grow, the character had to grow for Digimon. And for Pokemon, the character never grows because they always have to be accessible to new viewers. That's why the main character can never win.
But they evolve. They do evolve. I took my kids to see all those movies. They love Pokemon. But it is interesting comment.
Do they ever evolve into being free instead of being pocket slave?
No, they are slaves. It is a show about slavery, that's for sure. Absolutely.
So Pokemon is short for pocket monster, is it not?
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
But let's see, continue here. Dave says that kids these days don't even know Bugs Bunny or Popeye. Well, I don't know, but they probably don't know Popeye, but Bugs Bunny's still about it, I think, isn't he?
Right.
He is, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Let's not ignore one of the most consistently well-written and well-animated cartoons in the history of cartooning. Freaking The Simpsons, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The Simpsons has been
running,
yeah, but it's still funny. You know how hard it is to write consistently funny stuff, and man, they just year after year after decade after decade.
They created what is known as the daytime evening cartoon. Yeah.
Prime time, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys prefer, Simpsons or Family Guy?
I don't watch Family Guy.
Did you know there's a conspiracy between those two?
Really?
Yeah. They seem to be predicting the future in some of these episodes.
Well, according to them, Donald Trump is a time traveler, so you know.
Yeah, but some of the stuff that they've aired years ago is happening right now, and it's picture for picture. It's actually crazy. If you were to look into it, it would blow your mind.
I saw some of that. I didn't know if it was legit or just faked.
No, it was there. But
there is some interesting stuff in that topic. That's true. I saw a documentary on it. Yeah. Bethany here says that they stopped doing those. I think she talked about Steven Universe because kids weren't watching and they wanted to sell toys. That's true. But I don't know. These SJWs don't seem to care much about making money, to be honest with you. Yeah. Josh mentions X-Men and Spider-Man. Yes, those were great. Let me come down here.
Gargoyles.
SpongeBob is high art. Yeah. Oh, Gargoyles. That was a great one, man.
The storyline behind Gargoyles was great.
Yeah, it was.
I met the voice actor of Goliath, Keith David, which was interesting. He did a film festival hosting of it where I lived, and it was kind of awesome meeting him there. So,
yes, Goliath with the big voice.
The fella that played Riker from Star Trek was one of the voices on that show, I believe.
The magician, sorcerer.
Jonathan Frakes, is that his name?
Flakes.
Yeah.
Frakes.
Frakes?
And also Flakes. Yeah, and also the
It's with an R.
Tomato, tomato.
Matos.
Oh, that's
And
different letters.
what do you know about SNR Japanese interchanges those R's to L's? Anyways.
Freitas. Jonathan Freitas.
Flakes.
Oh goodness, I have to deal with that all the time, every day. You know, trying to fix the L's to R. You know.
Yeah, Counselor Troy was Desmona.
Troy.
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 Cool. Now, you guys, I got one. I asked everyone that if they could put together one thing they really want to focus on and talk about. So let's go ahead and, since we're at the top of the hour, let's go ahead and get into that. And I have chosen this one, and let me go ahead and white box myself. Now, I am a big time lover of Thundar the Barbarian.
Yeah, boy.
Yes, and I do understand that it was great, and it's a, what do they call that type of art style, Mike, where they have the live action and they color over it? What do they call that?
I don't know, tracing. I don't know.
No, it's got something scope. It has an actual name. Denali.
Rotoscope.
Thank you, Denali. Rotoscoping. Yeah, this is a rotoscope show, but it was really, really good. And it was a post-apocalyptic show, and we had our three heroes, and they travel around. And of course, I understand it was that 80s stuff, and the storytelling was very abrupt and edited. But I just, some of my greatest memory was watching Thunder the Barbarian and Doctor Who, Tom Baker, the only Doctor Who, by the way. Yeah. So anybody have any comments on Thundar the Barbarian?
Thunder.
I like it was a post-apocalyptic show, kind of seeing how magic returned and science failed, and we're now men are men, creatures
kind of
are
Conan-y though.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
very much. Yeah.
Very
And
much.
don't
Conan.
forget Ukla the Muck.
Ukla the Muck. Yes. Yeah, it was very cool. And there's actually, I remember a scene where Ukla met a female Ukla.
Ukla,
Oh, yeah.
Ukla.
There was some love in the air.
Yeah.
How about you, John? You ever see Thundar?
No, I've never actually even heard it. When
Oh
was that?
my goodness, sir.
Wait, I'll have to look that up after I get off here. But what time frame was that? Like you said 80s?
Early 80s. Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe even late 70s. And I'm not sure. It was Denali.
Yes.
When was Thundar?
I believe 1980.
Okay.
Because it was around the time just before it was with like the old Bear Havana cartoons.
Hanna-Barbera.
Hanna-Barbera,
yeah, cartoons in that style, like Scooby-Doo and all that. So
Yeah, it was a Hanna-Barbera, right?
Johnny.
Yeah, it was.
I think so, yeah.
Johnny Quest and all that.
Yeah.
So
Johnny
it
was
was
great.
in that style. So
Yeah.
They're actually redoing Thundar, and they're all transvestites.
Oh God, yeah, I will come through this internet at you, man. I'd have to go to war over that. My goodness, they might though. You never know with these guys.
I didn't even immigrate to the United States till '86, so that was way before.
Where'd you immigrate from, man? Where'd your family come from?
From Romania.
Oh,
I don't think we even had a TV. So,
are you friends with V then?
I don't know. Who that is.
That was a joke, meaning you come from the same country, so therefore you must all know each other. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's comedy, an attempt at comedy, anyway.
about the timing.
Yes, thank you, Denali. Thank you very much. I will write that down. Thank you.
What was the compelling thing about Thundar? What was like the part that made it really fun and so enjoyable for you?
Well, for me, when I was a kid, I grew up on John Wayne, Clint Eastwood. My dad is a military guy. I grew up on the man being men. You say you do something, you do it. Responsibility, these kind of honor, these kind of things is what I was raised on. And Thundar just hit that chord, man. It hit it about doing the right thing no matter the cost. And those old cartoons that we're talking about right here, they promoted the concept of good and honor and sacrifice. And these shows these days, it's all about me, 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 and that's the problem, I think. So that's my answer.
Thundar was Conan the Barbarian in the future dystopian in the dystopian future with
Chewbacca.
like Dungeons and Dragons backdrop.
Yep, it was.
It
but
sounds really awesome.
It is cool, and it had those themes, and I was like 10, so it was like the perfect age for me that to really get into a show. I love that show. William, may have any concept or idea about Thundar, or is it something you didn't see?
I've never seen it, but I want to know more about this lion character. He looks cool.
Yeah, Ookla is very cool. Yeah, he didn't do much. He just is pretty much what he did. But he was a big, strong guy. Yeah, he's Chewbacca. Yeah.
Now, was this a Hanna-Barbera cartoon?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Hanna-Barbera did some cool stuff. They didn't do just the Huckleberry Hound. They did other stuff as well. But it was a really good show.
I think they did Johnny Quest or something.
Yeah.
You guys remember Johnny Quest?
Absolutely.
I think that was Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah.
Look over here. Captain Canada is joining us. Oh, no, we have a Canuck amongst us. Oh, well. But Captain Canada just says that he just picked up the Thundar the Complete series on DVD at a yard sale for $1. Wow.
Oh.
Nice. March Hare is mentioning Black Star, which Black Star was kind of a very similar to Thundar, but it didn't do as well. And I think the reason is Black Star didn't really do the storytelling well, and it had a lot of like kind of weirdy, cutesy stuff they would add in for no reason. It didn't do as well. Primarch Sanguinius is amongst us. He says hello, hello. March Hare also mentions the Herculoids. That was another cool show.
Yeah. That was the one I was trying to remember, the Herculoids, because it was
the rhinoceros.
The shmoo.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I got a pick here from them. I'll bring that up. Where did I put that one? Oh, there you go. There's Herculoids down on the bottom. That was a cool show too. That was earlier though. But anyway, that's you got any ideas or anything you want to say on this, DeWolf?
Yeah, I remember Sky Commanders.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So the Sky Commanders, they could run around on little lines and wires that they would shoot across the valleys of some great area that was in the Pacific, right? There was some cliffs. There was something rose up out of the ocean, and then all of a sudden there was this super duper cool new element that was found, and the whole show was focused around them. And of course, once again, you had each person had to do their thing. Sometimes someone would fall off a cliff, they would land, they would have problems. Someone else would have to sacrifice themselves, like you were saying, in order to save them and help them out. It goes all back to that.
Yeah, no, that was a good show too. You got anything to say on Thundar before we move on, Mike?
I like Thundar. I'd love to get the rights to it.
Oh boy, Mike, you drawing Thundar, that would make my day. I'd be your best friend forever. Yeah, no, that would be really cool, man.
That's Thundar. That's
Hanna-Barbera though. That's DC now.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, they got
Warner Brothers.
Yeah, good luck getting that then. Those guys
good
are...
luck.
So has that ever been revamped?
IDW can get Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole nother conversation right there, man. What's
Have
going
they
on
ever
there?
revamped Thundar?
No.
I haven't. Not that I remember.
No, I haven't seen it. They tried to bring back the Thundercats, and I thought it was going well, but then they canceled it out of nowhere. They brought back He-Man, which looked really good, and then they canceled it out of nowhere. So I don't know what they were thinking with those things, but someone somewhere pulled the plug on them.
Yeah, they weren't selling enough toys like they were expecting to, and because they were moving it so many times, nobody could follow it. So it's like Blue Moon. So of course it fails and get canceled, even though it was pretty good.
Oh, thank you very much, Stanley.
This is what I see what's going on is back in the 80s, in the 70s, you didn't have anything. You had people that were either looking at Japanese things. There was some anime, and of course they were doing their own creations. Creation is the key here. And then you had the Americans, and they were looking at toys. They were creating Robotech. You had G.I. Joe, which of course goes back to the whole line of the military G.I. Joe. And you had these individual creators who were saying, hey, let's try something. Let's make a toy. Let's make a cartoon, and let's build something up. Let's sell it. They put themselves on the line in many cases. When you look at these documentaries, you know, they had, you know, $5,000, and they were trying to create a product and put it out there. And it was some of them were hits, some of them weren't. And nowadays you have big companies. Now companies are trying to leverage whether or not we can do this, whether or not we can do that. We have creative teams, and these creative teams are trying to do this. You had whole, you know, committees of people, dare I say, like almost like trying to have a Baptist meeting to create characters for shows. And so what we're seeing is those things are failing, or they're not doing well, or they get canceled. What we really need is some creators who, once again, can have $5,000, who can create a great character and put it out, you know, putting their own name on the line. I wish I could.
Yeah, like kind of like Doug TenNapel with Earthworm Jim with that.
What?
Yeah,
that's going on. You say, Denali?
Yeah. You know. Yeah. Well, now it's Bigfoot Bill, and he's doing that demo, which is kind of awesome.
Yeah, but he doesn't wash his. Yeah, but he doesn't wash his hands, so I don't think we want to talk about that. No Bigfoot Bill here. Man.
Cool. I bet there's going to be a feature in the game where you have to have him wash his hands.
Maybe that'd be funny. Yeah, Doug's cool, man. I get a kick out of him. But no, I think the point I think the point that DeWolf is touching on is the fact that we're not seeing a lot of creativity in anything right now. All they're doing is just reboot, gender swap. And more than that, than just the gender swapping, they're also sexuality swapping and a racial swapping and all that stuff. That's the only thing they care about. They don't care anything about actually making something new or creative. That's one of the things that kind of upset me a little bit about the Miss Marvel character. I'm talking about the new one, the Muslim girl, because when she first came out in the book, it was pretty cool. It started well, and then it went downhill. I mean, it's faster than I've ever seen anything go downhill. And it's too bad because it was new. You know,
why was it Miss Marvel? Why didn't she have her own name?
That's true. That's true.
I guess she was filling the void because Miss Marvel became Captain Marvel.
Yeah, we know why. It's just he's.
Oh, so do we have to have a new Invisible Girl because she's called the Invisible Woman now?
Yes. Watch it.
Okay,
Watch
there
it comes.
Yeah, no, they just
joke about it, but next month, come the amazing Invisible Girl.
Well, you know, actually, Mike, seeing as we have you here, let's ask you that question then, because you were inside the belly of the beast. What is the thinking that goes on, man? Why is there not more creative ideas going on instead of just taking everything old and trying to put a twist on it? What's the deal, man?
People are selfish. Since Image, basically, people got the idea that they keep their best stuff to themselves, in the hopes that someday they'll publish their own thing and make $1 billion selling the rights to, you know, Hollywood or whatever. So yeah, all they're doing is farming their own crap, and also you get the same thing with the it's risk avoidance, right? The same reason Hollywood keeps regurgitating, you know, the Dukes of Hazzard or anything else they can think of that has a pre-existing fan base, rather than coming up with new material. Because if you have an existing fan base, you already have a guaranteed market. And so, you know, rather than saying, hey, you know what, I have this idea for this cool character. She's going to be... I don't even like it. Hey, Micah, shush. She's going to be, like, super smart. She's going to come up from, you know, public school in Chicago, and she's going to have this really hard life, and she's going to create her own, you know, super suit and become her own character. Instead of that, you name her Iron Man, and you freaking coattail her into her own book.
Yeah.
But that's the problem with Marvel and females. Marvel doesn't have a Wonder Woman. Marvel will never have a Wonder Woman unless they get off of this merry-go-round where every time they introduce a woman character, she's either part of a team or she's derivative of another character. Ironheart is Iron Woman. I mean, Ironheart is Iron Man derivative.
Oh yeah.
You know, She-Hulk is Hulk derivative. Even Captain Marvel is an Avengers also ran, right? So you're either part of a group, which means you don't have your own dynamic. Like, that's why all the great Marvel characters are pre-Avengers characters that just ended up in the Avengers, right? They're all characters that had their own origin story, their own, you know, mythos behind them. And then at some point, you know, in the 60s, they put them together as the Avengers.
Yeah,
but you don't have a female character that fits that mold of having come out, stood on her own, like Wonder Woman. You know, I mean, Wonder Woman is DC's golden girl, and they can't do it with Captain Marvel. They're trying to do it with Captain Marvel, but it's not going to work, I don't think. And
no, they're
honestly,
trying to shove
her. I think if Marvel freaking did that, if someone said, okay, I'm going to create, you know, Blue Poseidon. I don't know, freaking come up with a name. And create a character like they did with Sentry. Right? They just created this whole mythos around Sentry, and then he was this standalone character that didn't he like cause the Avengers to start or something like that? I forget exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But you know, they brought it they made it a big deal. They created a new character. They pretended he was created in the 50s or 60s.
Yeah,
so they lied about it. But that was great marketing, right? And then you had this fantastic, you know, put the effort into creating a female character like that. What the hell are they scared of?
So here's a question. Here's a question with Marvel Comics. Were they not known as the House of Ideas?
They were.
They were.
So what happened to all the ideas?
They went to Image.
Yeah.
Just simple as that. They went to Image.
It's as simple as that. They went to Image, and then, like I said, the whole thing became, you know, oh, I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to build up my career at Marvel. I'm going to build up my career at DC, and then I'm going to take off on my own, and I'm going to create my own, or I'm going to save all my really good characters for when I'm publishing my own stuff.
Does anybody know what the most recent Marvel character creation is?
Miss Marvel. Sorry, what was that?
Riri Williams.
Riri, yeah, but that's nothing new about that.
Well, there's nothing.
No, what is the newest? What is the newest Marvel character right now?
I think it's Riri.
Yeah, it probably is. Riri. I mean, something that has any kind of uniqueness to it would be the Miss Marvel, but Riri is certainly the new one. But Riri is also, as Richard Meyer has shown us, or your boy Zach, is actually a supervillain in the making. And I think they would be much smarter to turn her into a villain, because that whole idea he had was really great.
Yeah. Speaking of that, just to do a little brief update, remember the new segment we did a couple of days ago about the Marvel Rising?
Yeah.
They announced that they're doubling down and making a Riri special.
Oh goodness.
Of that. Ironheart. So it's a grand success that they're showing cartoon Aim for Kid as Sunday at 10 p.m. Where
and all the characters are either female or homosexual guys. Yep. Wonderful. That's what children need. That's exactly what they need. I do want to make a couple mentions here that's been said in the chat, but before I do that, a little bit of a commercial break. Please do remember, everyone, to hit that like button and to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell so you get notification. Remember that this is Bugbear's Basement and we just talk about fun stuff, but the main purpose of this channel is Fan Speak. And with Fan Speak, we are a place where the fans get to be our guests. So once again, go over to to the link down below. Go to the Fanspeak Facebook page. Tell us what you're thinking. Tell us what you like. And also contact me directly at Chester C. Busby III on Facebook. And tell me you want to be on the show. Because the whole point of Fanspeak is a place where the fans are our guests and they get to speak out. So please get involved. Be part of the community. So let's look at a couple of things over here in the chats, though. I did see a little bit earlier, see if I can find it. It kind of got away from me. But someone in here was mentioning two very cool things that I remember that I forgot to put on my slideshow. And that was Ghost, Space Ghost. And Space Ghost. Here it is. This is from Heroic Nico. And he says Space Ghost and Blue Falcon, man. Blue Falcon. My mother made me a Blue Falcon Halloween costume, and I still remember that, man. It was such a cool costume. I love Blue Falcon. Does anybody other than Mike and I know these the Blue Falcon?
Yeah, with Dynamo Dog.
Yeah.
Dino Mutt.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Dino Mutt.
Yeah, that was a great. I love that show. It was a bit tongue in cheek too. It was kind of very similar to the Adam West Batman TV show. It had that kind of feel to it. Let's see. We've got someone here mentioning Tom and Jerry. Yeah, of course, that's a classic. Yeah. Although I like the old ones, the newer. Well, when I was a kid, newer ones. They all had the weird sound in it. I didn't like the sound of Tom and Jerry.
Well,
the originals were Fritz, or was it Charles? Who's the director of the original Tom and Jerry stuff?
Yeah, Fritz Freeling?
Chuck Schultz? Or Fritz Freeling? Was it?
Fritz Freeling.
Denali. Fred Phillies. Yeah.
Thank you. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, but you were saying, Mike, who made the later ones?
I don't know, but yeah, I totally agree with you. I hated the feel of the 70s ones.
Yeah, it made your skin crawl. The sound was weird, man. I hated that.
Yeah. It was like Pink Panther-ish.
Yeah, I guess in a way, yeah, you're right. All right, see, Captain Canada again. He's talking about Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future. Never heard of it. No, I'm just kidding. I have to pick on Captain Canada because he's worthy of picking on.
So that reminds me of Captain Planet.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if this is the Canadian version.
No, Captain Power was a live action.
Oh, was it? Was it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And actually, it was one of the first ones using the 3D animation technology at the time.
Oh, okay.
It was a mix of live action and 3D animation. It was It was ahead of its time. It was one of the very first ones ever released.
Oh, well, there you go. I do apologize, Captain Canada. You have mentioned something very cool, and I apologize for my American rudeness.
Was that made by Mainframe? Because they were a production doing animation like Reboot, and
that's Canadian animation studio, I believe.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. Just seeing if anyone has any more comments before we move on. So they're pretty much just responding.
Captain Planet at one point. There's this interesting concept that came out of that, right? That's the environmentalism, and that's everything, and that we basically see today too, and we hate it. But really, what's interesting is the villains. As bad as the villains were, the actual writing and how they delivered it was tolerable back then, and that's different than now. Now those things, the way they're making them, is just it drives you crazy.
Because they have an agenda and they can't get off their politics is the problem. But
did you ever see the Don Cheadle Captain Planet?
No, but I imagine it was funny.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny.
Captain Planet. No.
Has anybody seen it?
No, I haven't.
Cheadle one.
Oh, dude, you should bring it up and play it just with the sound off. I mean, with whatever. It's.
I want to give in the big picture concept that we've been kind of talking about from the beginning.
Yeah.
And that is how we all can recognize, Robotechs and Star Blazers and reminisce of them. And we went home from school from them, or even Saturday morning. We missed a lot of the Saturday morning cartoons. But nowadays, and it's happening with all kinds of different things, from, watching different TV shows such as Cheers, live action thing, Dallas, mini series that used to come out like the day after. Let me just throw that big name out there. It scares the crap out of us. And these things, everyone was involved in. All kids could be involved in watching the same show. Nowadays, we have Netflix, we've got the internet, we've got things in our hands. You know, we can stream anything we want to. We can go to YouTube and watch some, guys streaming talking about cartoons even. And so there's not a cultural concept of people doing similar things at similar times, creating a particular culture. Now we have these little cultural pockets. So it's just something that we don't have nowadays. And really to get a hold of that and remember the fact that we had that was a different time. And that changed the way.
Have you ever read Savage Dragon Red Horizon?
The old ones?
No, I have not.
Oh man, Savage Dragon.
What you just said. I wrote what you just said in the opening scene of Savage Dragon Red Horizon. How blaming the downfall of our culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all used to, everyone went to school and knew that Marsha got hit in the face by a football. Everyone went to school or everyone went to work and knew JR got shot. You had this when you only had 3 channels to choose from show on at a time, because they wouldn't put 2 good shows against each other, right? So everybody watched Dallas. Everybody watched The Cosby Show, until cable came along, and now the internet. It's just like the super fracturing of everyone not only has their own shows they want to watch. We make our own shows.
Yep.
Yeah, it bound us together.
Like right now.
That's true. Yeah, I know. When I was a kid in school, we go to school and every day we talk about Mr. Bill and Gumby, damn it. Eddie Murphy.
I just showed my kid Mr. Bill like last week.
Yeah. Let's take a look at this. Don Cheadle is Captain Planet. You guys see it up there on the screen. Let me go in and play it. Okay. Ooh, bad. All right.
Bad toxic waste dumping peoples. You know what we need? Captain Planet.
Fire, wind, heart. Go planet.
Oh my God! Look at that, dude. That is not right, man.
What?
Yay!
That's War Machine.
Yeah, it is. Although I like the original guy better, but
yeah.
You're watching what he's doing.
Yeah, he's turning him into trees.
Turning people into trees.
Duh. My baby.
He's out of control now.
Planting a tree.
Whoa. Oh no, man. No, that's not right. That's it. That's not right, man. Oh, okay. Oh my God. That's funny, dude. That's funny. Just Don Cheadle with silver green skin. That's not right. Oh. Goodness gracious.
I'm just in shock.
It's hilarious, man. Look at that bodysuit. No.
He's like just totally lost it. It's so great.
I gotta have to watch it with volume later.
But
yeah,
isn't it funny? It's just how they see is how they are right now. They totally lost their mind. That they're just destroying everything they're doing. This is a documentary. This is an awesome documentary of what's happening right now.
My goodness. Yeah. All right, that was funny. That was definitely funny. Thank you for that, Mike, introducing us to Don Cheadle as Captain Planet.
You got it. I'm here to serve.
Was it family friendly?
It was family. Well, kind of family friendly. It's good enough. It's all right. That's all right. All right. All right. Let's move on though. Now I shared my favorite thing that I want to talk about, which is Thundar. How about you, Denali? What do you want to talk about today? What's your focus cartoon, man?
I got it all over the place, but I did a thing so you can.
Yep.
Do it.
I got you up. You're a white box. You're good to go.
All right. So the first one, since we're going way behind, is Robotech with the 3 shows that they merged together with Harmony Gold, the Robotech saga. That was my jam. They were doing that in the Toonami block, so that's how I was able to see it back when. Any memories for you guys about Robotech?
Oh yeah, I love Robotech. I'd come home from high school and watch that, the Invid Wars and whatnot.
Yeah, sure.
I actually was in a booth with the creator, Carl something or other, like about I think like a year or 2 before he passed away. We got to talk about that.
Oh,
what was his last name?
Masick.
Yeah. I actually got a book signed by him, but I ended up giving it to a friend of mine who was a bigger fan of him as a creator. So.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, I have the same memory. I used to watch it around high school age, I think, and but I had my own little black and white TV, so I saw the original series all in black and white. I didn't see it in color till decades later.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now you can see it on Amazon now. If you have Amazon Prime, they have all the seasons.
My family uses that. I haven't used it much, but I actually own the Robotech Blu-ray, I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So yeah, Robotech's pretty cool.
He got the rights to those 3 different series, and just sort of wove a story that sort of made them all make sense together.
Genius.
It was a good story. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was cool too. How about you, John? You ever watch Robotech, man?
It sounds familiar, but I can't think of a specific memory offhand. I bet if I watched something on YouTube, I could probably remember it, but nothing specific.
I love the motorcycles that turned into like personal body armor. That was really cool.
In the Wars.
3rd series.
Yeah. How about you, William? You got any Robotech memories, man?
I do. Again, it's another one of those little darker shows out there where characters died and they didn't come back. Robotech is one of the ones that introduced me to Pat Labor. It introduced me to Macross Saga, Macross Plus. It kind of opened the door to a lot of things that I wouldn't have normally watched in this part of the world. Like, don't forget, I'm in the middle of the woods in Canada here, right?
That's true. Yeah, you're a New Brunswick. What do you call yourselves? People of New Brunswick. What do you call yourselves? New Brunswickian?
New Brunswicker.
New Brunswicker. Okay, there you go.
Awesome.
How about you, DeWolf? You got any Robotech ideas?
You know, he just mentioned that the fact that we had characters die. You know, Roy Fokker, his death was such a huge pivotal point. You know, you didn't see that in other things. You know, you had a character like that who's a mentor, and he dies, and as he does it, he of course he gave it all. He sacrificed himself, and then he went back and he just accepted the fact. You know, he's spending some time with his loved ones before he dies, and he knew it's coming. You know, that's just pretty amazing. And another thing, here's a big thing that I learned from Macross, and that was to be in love must be the greatest feeling that a girl can feel.
It must be. Yes, I agree. And they sing about it even. You know?
Yes, the special man, that dearest man. Yes. And actually, being a teenager, being 10, 12, that age group, seeing that, there was a lot that went on. Oh my goodness. He had this girlfriend who was flaky. So I learned not to date the crazy girl from watching Rick Hunter, right?
Wow.
I learned what type of woman that I needed to focus on when I started getting that age that I wanted to, meet a girl and get a wife and everything. Right there from Robotech.
Life lessons from Robotech. That's amazing.
Yeah, I should have paid more attention to that.
Okay, hands up. Who dated a crazy girl? Hands up.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
I dated a couple. Yeah, John's got one up. I dated a couple of them, man. I was a saxophone player, so I had plenty of them coming at me, and I thought when I was younger that, the prettier ones must be better. Mm-mm. No,
Brooke
that's not
Bartley.
true.
Brooke Bartley from the third season.
All right.
Yeah.
Moving to the next one is
Yeah, go ahead.
Pirates of the Dark Waters.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was pretty good, actually.
It was 2 seasons, and it was one of those actually had a storyline like Injustice storyline where they just canceled it because the toys weren't selling expectation, but the storyline and what they were trying to do, was a really good storyline. So it was kind of a shame that they kind of canceled it before it was even able to move forward.
that was a pretty cool show. I really liked it too.
You don't have a slide for that one, man? Go ahead, Johnny. Go ahead and give your opinion on Dark Water. Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say I need to start driving, so I might mute it and just listen.
Oh, that's cool.
For a little while. So if I go missing, I'll try to chime in when I can.
Oh, no problem, man. Hey, I'm really glad that I got to meet and chat with you, and it's a nice conversation, man. It was really cool. Thank you.
Yeah, super nice to meet all you guys too. Yeah, BRB.
And that is an amazing mustache once again. Love that mustache.
Don't encourage.
Don't encourage.
So we see the mustache right there. That's an interesting mustache on the character.
Hey, you have to respect proper facial hair, man.
Yeah.
All right, we're getting a lot of background noise from somewhere.
It's probably John. Maybe.
Yeah, here, I'll mute my mic.
Okay.
Here.
All right. All right, good. Well, all right, Danelli. So you were talking about that. Did you have another one you want to talk about other than Dark Water?
We had, because this comic book, Batman the Anime Series, it would be wrong not to talk about this series.
Of course, yeah. No, we were definitely going to talk about it. You got a slide to show on that?
Yeah, it's right here. I'm on the slideshow right now. So just keep me because I have slides.
I will. I got you white boxed. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. So we have Batman the Anime Series.
We're not seeing it.
You're not seeing it?
No, we're still seeing Robotech. It's stuck on Robotech.
Okay. Click.
There you go. Okay.
Well, I don't know why I didn't do that. Well, let me see. Well, here was the Pirates of the Dark Water. I guess I didn't like it. And I was talking about the mustache right there.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Oh, I see the connection. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a pretty good show, actually. I liked it.
Yeah. We had Batman the Animated Series with Mark Hamill as the Joker. And it's kind of funny because I recognized it was one of the first names I recognized because of Star Wars.
Right.
I started paying more attention to the credits and started picking it up because I had no internet and no way of knowing until I realized every time the Joker was on the episode, Mark Hamill would appear, and I started making that connection.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah, on it. But it's awesome. The artwork was awesome. And the storylines were very adult for its, being an afternoon block. It was on Fox block, Fox Kids, if anybody remembers that, back in the early 90s. From 92 to 91 to 93. It was on.
I'm actually glad you brought up that Fox Kids. I was talking with a friend of mine the other day, and we were talking about, I'm not sure if you guys remember or not, but Weird Al Yankovic used to be the host for that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Weird Al, yeah.
So it was crazy. Any particular memories about Batman the Anime? See, I like the World's Finest when they did the Superman Batman action hour.
Oh yeah,
Where
that
they-
was good too. Yeah, but no, it's Batman the animated series. Of course, is legendary cartoon for everyone. I think Mark Hamill as the Joker is one of the most memorable voice characters, aside from maybe Bart Simpson, that I can. That comes. It's weird that I put those two in the same sentence, but those two come to mind as being very memorable voices. And I loved Mark Hamill's Joker, and I think that's also where we got Harley Quinn from, right?
Correct. That's the introduction of Harley Quinn was at the TV show with Paul Dini, doing with Joker's Favor. That was the episode that he appears. Where remember it was I think it was Phil. What's the name of the guy? He was grumbling around, driving in Gotham, and everybody was pushing his way. And he finally got fed up when another car cut him off, and he was cursing at the Joker. He's like, "Oh crap! I'm cursing at the Joker," and the Joker's chasing after him.
Yeah, starts following him real slow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, of course, since we're talking about Batman and the animated series in particular about Batman, now, Mike, I know that you've done a lot of the Justice League type of characters, but do you ever get a chance to draw Harley Quinn? I don't know if I've noticed it. Maybe in one of your Injustice comics.
Yeah, she was in a lot of the Injustice comics, actually. I even got her put her back in her original costume.
Oh, that's right. I do remember that. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was me. I did that. It wasn't in the script.
Oh, really? Did you get flack for that?
No, well, I asked permission because her original costume was a playable skin in the game. And so I'm like, hey, can we freaking... There was a scene in one of the issues where she's taken the super pill, so she's indestructible, and so she straps a bomb to herself and blows herself up in front of the Hall of Justice. And I'm like, her clothes didn't take a super pill.
That's true. Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to, you have a bomb. The other artist had the bomb, strapped to her chest. I'm like, I don't want to draw this. I'm like, can I have her like run in and find her old costume in the Hall of Justice, like in a trophy case or something? And so we wrote it. They changed the script, and I had her pop out wearing her old costume.
Oh, that's cool, man.
And she wore it for like a year, I think, too. So it was pretty cool.
Good call, Mike Miller.
What?
No, I think I like the original costume better anyway. Well, since we actually have you here, I guess I should probably ask you a question, Mike. I guess you can imagine how many of us geek out when we get to see and talk to you pros, because we love your books and we read them, and it's very exciting for us to interact with you. Who do you geek out about, man?
In the comics industry?
Sure. Yeah.
I don't think anybody. I did that when I was a kid, and John Byrne and Paul Smith were my two favorites, and so I kind of geeked out about John Byrne, and then he turned out to be this just huge jerk. And then I geeked out about Paul Smith, got to be friends with him, and he actually came to my wedding. So those were my two geek outs, but I'm past them both now. So.
Oh, sure. I didn't mean like childhood geek out. I mean it's cool to see the artists of things you like.
Oh well, I mean obviously there's artists I like. Carlos Pacheco's my favorite artist working today. Don't know him personally. I mean we're friends on Facebook, but other than that, it's like that's not really. It's not like we've had dinner together or anything. So.
Well, when I bring my family up to Tokyo Comic Con, we're definitely taking you to dinner, man. We're going to take you out to an izakaya.
Izakaya?
Yes. I'm assuming you have. Is there Japanese food you can't eat?
I can't eat shellfish.
Oh, well, that's easy enough.
I know.
No,
it's not. It's the worst.
Well, it's easy to stay away from it. I mean,
yeah.
Have you ever been to an izakaya before?
Izakaya. I don't recognize the name.
It's kind of like a tavern, I guess. You sit down and it's got a lot of this kind of small plate, a la carte food, and of course,
Oh, like
drink.
What's that called? Not yakitori or yakiniku?
Oh
No,
yeah, they got
yakitori.
yakitori. Yeah, yakitori. Yeah. Cool.
That, yes, I've had.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's really good, and there's some good ones in Tokyo too.
Right on.
Yeah. All right. Well, anybody else have any comments on Batman the Animated Series before we wrap this up?
Blimps and Tommy guns.
Okay. Yes,
Oh,
Blimps and Tommy guns. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Anyone else? The Wolf, you want to make a comment about the animated series? I'm sure you like it.
Yeah. That would go without saying. Certainly. I had something else to say. I'm going to go ahead and let that drop, and we can move on.
Okay. Well, all right, guys. Well, we've sat here today and we've talked for nearly 2 hours about cartoons, and it was a great conversation. I really enjoyed it. This is a great memories for many of us from our childhood, and some of them even from later. I have to say that, Marvel doesn't do a very good job in the animated side of things, unfortunately. Especially when we're talking movies, but DC does a really good job with animated movies, even though they can't manage to do a live action to save their life. And I figured we'd end today talking a little bit about some of the DC live action movie, not live action, the animated movies.
Wait.
A friend of mine, Sam Liu, actually directs a lot of those.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, he went to art center, but ended up learning how to draw.
Oh, really?
How strange.
Well, those are because the DC animated are really good,
Yeah.
Well, the movie comes out, the animated movie comes out even better than the actual live action. It's kind of funny.
It's true. DeWolf, we're getting a lot of echo back from you, man. A lot of echo back from you, man.
It's up again.
Okay.
Hey, before you move on to that one, you said the Marvel doesn't do good animated, but the X-Men series was amazing.
It was. I was talking more about movies, but yeah, the X-Men series was really good. I like some of the Spider-Man ones too.
Do you remember that X-Men movie that came out in the early 80s? Early mid 80s. I can't remember the name of it. Children of the Atom, maybe?
Yeah, I do remember that one. I don't remember the name.
The animation on that was phenomenal.
Yeah.
From what I can remember. But I never seen it again.
I think it was like a pilot episode or something like that. For that,
I do remember it though. I don't remember the name.
I don't remember that at all.
I think it was Children of the Atom.
Days of Future Past was an important one they did.
Yeah. I'm sitting here trying to research it on here. I don't.
Elong and Pride of the X-Men. Good, yeah.
Yeah, I don't see it offhand, but I do remember that. Yeah, that was really good. But yeah, Marvel has had some good TV series. I don't know right now, especially with this. What is Denali? What is this new one they're coming out with? It looks like a train wreck.
For DC or for Marvel?
Marvel. Yeah.
Marvel. That's Marvel Rising.
Oh yes. Oh goodness gracious, it gives me headaches, man. It is so bad. Especially because they've done so many really good things. I mean, we were talking about DC and put out these amazing animations with Young Justice and Teen Titans and Superman, the Batman stuff. And I was like, oh man, can't you go back and try to do something with pride?
Hey, Chester, I gotta check out. I gotta start drawing and quartered in about 13 minutes. So.
Oh yeah, no. Thank you very much, Mike. We're going to wrap up here on time. Everybody here is going to jump over there.
Peace out.
All right, thanks, Mike, for coming on. We really appreciate it. You're always welcome, man.
Boom.
All right. Well, yeah, we do need to wrap up because Drawing the Quarter is starting. I mean, we all want to watch that. That's a great show they got going on there. But yeah, I'm sorry. What were you saying, Denali, about the animated series that you like, the movie ones?
I was going to say that Batman: The Mask of the Phantom was a good one. Phantasm.
Oh, Mask of the Phantasm. Yeah.
Phantasm. And then you had the Return of the Joker from Batman Beyond. That was pretty good. You had the World's Finest that they did, movie.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. Yeah.
So, their animation are movie wise are good. It's just
Their
for some reason,
Catwoman short was awesome.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, they do really well with the animated stuff. I don't see how they can't translate it into the live action. I understand the problem, but they have a problem.
They had a
now-
really good Superman Shazam. It was like it was kind of like an anime. The style of it looked completely foreign to what normal American cartoons look like these days.
Yeah.
Superman Shazam.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Which is kind of funny because Shazam was beating Superman when they first initially run. So it wasn't until like Silver Age Superman that he really took off. Golden Age Superman, Shazam was beating him a lot.
Well, Superman is vulnerable to magic, and Captain Marvel is magic. So, and I don't care that they're calling him Shazam. He is Captain Marvel. So I'm not going to change. I do have a question here, James. You're over here in the chat. You mentioned to me that the Batman, one of the Batman movies, is coming out for like a single day movie release. Could you put that in the chat again, please? I just want to. He had mentioned it to me earlier, and I thought it was interesting. We should announce it before we get off here today. Oh yeah, he's talking. March Hare's talking. Wasn't that the Return of the Black Adam? Yeah, that was a really good show. I liked that movie. There's a lot of them, and actually, this new Shazam live action looks like it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, fun. Fun is the word I would use. It's bright and happy, and it's not like the doom and gloom DC that we're becoming to know.
Yeah, that was a bad decision on their part. Yeah, okay. They're over here telling me in the chat that yeah, it's the Mask of the Phantasm. The Mask of the Phantasm is coming back to movie theaters for a single day release. I don't know if it's countrywide or just a certain place, but that'll be really cool, I think.
Probably select theaters. You have to check your AMC or whatever.
Probably. But it's cool though, because that was a really good one. That was a good one. Well, anyway, we've gone nearly 2 hours, and we're certainly all going to go over and see Jordan Quarter, which is going to be great. That's, I think, one of the best shows going on in the community right now is having the artist draw. It's a lot of fun. But anyway, anyone want to say something before we check out?
Well, just a reminder, we did Fan Speak Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you DM Chester. I'll probably just post up a page. It's like who wants to join, wants to get on Fan Speak, so we can just have a pool, and we'll contact you as that means as well. And share it. Share, if you like this content, you like what we're saying, share it to other people, and spread it around, because we'll have great things. And we have that big special announcement about that art contest that we'll be announcing on Friday, so you don't want to miss it.
Yeah, it's going to be very cool.
William, we're open to suggestions as well. If there's something that you want us to talk about, or if you want to talk about it, let us know.
Absolutely. This is about the fan community. That's the whole point. So, you guys sitting here listening, don't be shy. Talk to us, interact with us. You want to be on the show, tell us. You have an idea, tell us. We're not kidding. We're serious. You notice every week when we have new people on. We're trying to get more and more people in the community to come on and be part of what we're doing. And we're having a lot of fun. Today was a great show. We had good fun talking about good memories, and we had a special guest we weren't expecting. So thank you very much, John, for dragging Mike over here with us, man. Very cool of you. So, John, you want to make a comment before we head out? You want to say goodbye to the folks? Hope I don't cause a car accident.
I think he's on mute.
He is on mute, yeah. Let me see if I can deal with that on my side.
There you go. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry for the feedback. Thank you guys so much for having me out. I really appreciate the invite. I'm glad I was able to bring Mike in there. I was telling Mike that I was going to get on this live this live stream, and he was excited. He was like, "Hey, send me an invite. I want to check it out." I was like, "That's rad." So I was really excited.
Yes, we've lost you.
Oh,
You're clear.
my
You're clear. Go
reception.
ahead.
Yeah, my reception's bad. I was just saying, thanks for the invite. Really appreciate it. I had a blast, and I hope I can come back and be on here again and throw in some
No, absolutely. Thank you. You and your mustache are always welcome. Cool. All right. Thank you, John. Thank you. Any last comments, William?
No, I'm good.
All right. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. This was a really good, fun show. Had with some surprises, and we got to see Don Cheadle in face paint, so that was pretty awesome. But just to continue what Janelle was saying, keep getting involved, and we do have an announcement coming up for that art contest. So any of you artists, get your ideas thinking. What would be a great fan speak logo, and maybe start putting those together, because we get a really good, cool prize going on for that. But thank you all very much. This has been Bugbear's Basement, and we will see you this Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Fan Speak. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Aloha.